You know how, in response to Israel's ongoing genocide in the Gaza Strip, there has been a enormous outpouring of public support for the Palestinian people and their suffering, massive protests across the West, even in countries that have begun to crack down on their right to do so. Uh, there haven't been as many pro-Israeli protests. Excuse me. I guess it's just harder to protest when your message is like, let's keep doing the genocide. You know, like that's not a great sell to a lot of people. I've seen a couple of images from protests. It usually just seems to be old, conservative, stodgy-looking white people. There's a lot of Zionist messaging. It tends to be pretty chill because, again, they're not protesting an injustice, so why would you not be chill? There was just earlier today, I think, or was it yesterday? It was yesterday. There was just recently a March for Israel rally in D.C. where something wacky happened.
You look beautiful. You look beautiful. Why am I here? Why am I here? I'm here because the horror and the terror that unfolded in Israel and Palestine have sent shockwaves far beyond their borders.
I've decided I don't care to listen to his entire bit, and instead going to stick to the part that is interesting. Take a look.
I'm a peace guy. I pray for peace.
He's a peace guy.
No more rockets from Gaza and no more bombs falling down on the people of Gaza.
Oh. So hold on. He's at a March for Israel. Now, imagine the kind of people who would show up to a pro-Israeli rally in the current political climate. Right? Like, what kind of audience are you going to get? He just essentially called for a ceasefire. This is because the call for a ceasefire is not a very controversial political position in a sane world. You're essentially advocating for, like, people to not die. Like, that's just a pretty good thing to advocate for generally, you know?
Protect the children. God protect children. Let's end all the horror and all the heartbreak in the Holy Land. Let's end all of it. Let's end all of it. But I'll be honest in closing. When I think about what's happening over there, I don't feel powerful to do something about what's happening over there. What I do feel powerful is to maybe do something about what's happening here.
They're chanting no ceasefire. Not ceasefire, no ceasefire. In the crowds. Literally chanting, like, keep killing. Like, keep bombing civilians. No ceasefire. Because, again, the only people who would show up to a pro-Israel rally in this political climate are going to be demons and ghouls, essentially. Like, they're in D.C. as well. So every, like, hardline neocon, every rabid Islamophobe, every, like, Zionist fascist, they're all going to show up. In fact, I'm pretty sure there were members of an actual legitimate terrorist group that were there. The, what are they called? Justice for Israel? What was that? What was that group called? The Republican Party? No. I had this. I swear to God, I saw photos of them there. Yeah, that's it. The Jewish Defense League. Far-right religious organization in the U.S. and Canada whose stated goal is to, quote, protect Jews from anti-Semitism by whatever means necessary. They've done terrorism. I think they're even listed as a hate group by, like, the SPLC. Like, they're a full-on, like, they're a terrorist group. And they were there. At least some of them. Lots of members of the JDL, Jewish Defense League in D.C. This is a terror org responsible for many attacks in the U.S., resulting in the death of Americans. Wacky. So yeah, this is essentially a hate rally. It's an Islamophobic, anti-Palestinian hate rally where the shared political goal among its participants or its attendees is that they want more people to die. And this guy, like, didn't get the memo on that. And this is why someone quote tweeted this with I wonder if there's a reason why pro-Israeli rallies have not given many of their supporters the opportunity to speak, or something to that effect. And I think that's because, and I think that's a very salient point, I think that's because if you give these guys a microphone, not this guy specifically, who I think is just, doesn't this guy just bounce around causes? I don't know. But the people in the audience, like, if you had them up there, if they were the ones speaking into the mic, they would sound like fucking lunatics. In this case, because he accidentally called for a ceasefire, they sound like lunatics even away from the mic.
Take a stand here against anti-Jewish bigotry. Let's take a stand against Muslim. Let's take a stand here against hatred. Let's take a stand here against hatred of all kinds. I don't want...
Van Jones is based pretty regularly. He's a legit center-left liberal. I don't like center-left liberals. What do you mean based? Excuse me. March for Israel rally features far-right pastor who once blamed Jews for Holocaust. Really? Pastor John Hagee once said Hitler was sent by God. Oh, I'm sorry. He isn't just attending it. He's taking the stage? I didn't even read this fully. Previously, Hagee claimed that Hitler came from a lineage of accursed, genocidally murderous half-breed Jews and suggested it was Jews' disobedience toward God that led to their persecution. Okay? I need to see his speech. What is he cooking, is my question. What meal did he bring for this Stand With Israel rally?
John Hagee, Dillard University President Dr. Rochelle Ford, and Anila Ali.
Dude burnt the water, Vosh. Brings like some charcoal black water. Yeah, sorry.
Jewish people once again search the globe for friends. I am here to deliver a singular message. Israel, you are not alone.
I wonder what it implies about the geopolitical relationship between America and Israel that this guy, this phrenologically evil man, is speaking in their favor.
I want you to shout that loud enough for them to hear it in Jerusalem. Ready? Jerusalem, Israel, you are not alone. Israel, you are not alone. Israel.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should have added, in case you were wondering whether this, like, neo-Nazi evangelical hate preacher being brought to a pro-Israel rally was just, like, a bunch of cranks, this was, like, the Israel rally in D.C. It's like, this isn't just like a bunch of Jimmy Dore tier cranks or whatever. This is like, who will we have representing our big boy rally?
You're not alone. While the Jewish state faces the greatest danger since our rebirth 75 years ago, we pray for the people of Israel.
The pro-Palestinian one has to go the fuck off to counter this. The pro-Palestinian marches have already reached hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know how many people attended this, but I feel like they've already popped off pretty well.
And the leaders of Israel. May God give you the wisdom of Solomon and the courage of King David and the victories of Joshua. You, the leaders of Israel, and you alone should determine how this war is going to be conducted.
Watch it, Benjamin.
And concluded. You decide, no one else. Israel has shown the world that it overcame the tragedy of the Holocaust through the power of hope. Israel has demonstrated the courage to make peace with its neighbors. Israel has always proved that it has the strength to wage war against its enemies. From the 5 Arab armies that tried to destroy the newly reborn state in 1948, to Hamas and Hezbollah, Iran's proxy armies, to my Jewish brothers and sisters, it is tempting to look at the present.
Yeah, anyone want to take like a guess as to why this guy is doing and saying this? Considering the things that he said, I think, like, ultimately, like I've said before, so this is another perfect example of how little Zionism has to do with Jews. This guy hates Jews more than you could imagine. Every day, like, you don't love your mom as much as this guy hates Jews, okay? But for him specifically, being an evangelical, this is a rapture thing. Jews being in their holy land means that they can be sacrificed to bring about the rapture. In his ethos, they would go to hell. Doesn't matter to him. He wants it to happen. So that's one thing. For two, as a political bloc, Zionism in the United States just has nothing to do with Jewishness. Otherwise, this guy wouldn't be here. Like, the crowd started chanting no ceasefire when somebody said, you know, foolishly, naively, maybe less people should die. If this group was actually guided by the interests of Jewish people in America, then obviously it wouldn't look the way that it does. It's just a very thin, very frail, very disingenuous cloak placed over what it actually is, which is a mix of evangelical and far-right interests in the region. You know? Yeah, there's a reason the loudest pro-Zionist voices in America tend to be like ultra-far-right Christian conservatives who themselves are probably pretty anti-Semitic. He looks like a giant infant. Yes, he really does. They're so evil, man. Yeah, they really are. I wonder if he hates Jews or Muslims more. I imagine he hates both of them a lot. Islamophobia is a big part of it. Well, I feel like there's not really that much value to the contents of the rally. Maybe I'll go over the whole thing at some point. There is a lot of it. Chuck Schumer was there. I mean, a lot of people were there.